You guys actually managed to do something pretty cool last week. You managed to get me on the Malta hype page. I didn't expect to actually get on a hype page, but somehow you guys actually managed to do it, so huge shout out to you guys. And thank you again for the overwhelming amount of support. You guys are really loving this series. Let's just get into the video. Gabriel's hair. There's an unused model of Gabriel that explains exactly why he always wears his helmet. Because his hairline is cooked. Tripwire. Tripwire was going to be to Stella what Raider was to Jesse. As you can see, they look pretty similar, so I imagine they would have just been the opposite sides of the same coin. They even had a prison skin for her, so it looks like she was actually gonna have a pretty significant role. I imagine the reason why she didn't make it into the game is because they didn't want to have two characters that are absolutely overpowered. Oh, we're fine. Oh, look, we gave him an opportunity to prove himself. Isn't that good? How beautiful. Being mean to Lucas. A lot of people think Jesse is a really sweet guy, but he's secretly an absolute psychopath. And in one way that he can be an absolute psychopath is by treating Lucas like absolute crap. For instance, in episode 1 you can deprive him from a cookie and kick him out of the mud hut, after which he returns the next day with food for everyone.
Hey, guys, I picked some apples. You are more than welcome to some if you want. Feel free. There's plenty for all of us.
No thanks.
In episode 3 of You're Mean to Lucas, he leaves Jesse and the gang and returns at the end of the episode with the Ocelots to help you.
Ocelots, distract that Witherstorm.
Nice Aiden. If Minecraft Story Mode hadn't discontinued, we might have seen a nice Aiden. Eric Stripe wanted to do an episode where the villains from the previous episodes all got together and got rehabilitated. This is what Eric said. If the series were still ongoing, it might have been fun to do a villain rehabilitation storyline with Jesse and Ivor coaching Aiden, Romeo, and Cassie Rose, but sadly, ... That's a lot of dots. He also said this, but I always like to imagine that after he had worked off his debt to Sky City, he killed tons of people, so I don't know how he's going to repay that debt, but good luck. He was eventually let out of prison on good behavior. Rather than go back, he would see this as his chance to start afresh, free from all the jealousy and insecurity he had felt back in Beacon Town. As part of his fresh start, he would try to help New Sky City get off the ground, if you'll pardon my pun, and become an advisor to Issa and the Sky City folks. Technically, the Blaze Rods would be the most experienced ground dwellers in that whole entire world, so they would have a lot of knowledge that the others wouldn't have. Aiden alludes once to wanting to be a writer, which is a dream he could finally get to once he starts this new life for himself. And when it came time to writing a book, he might just decide to write it about the greatest hero he has ever known. A hero that he was once super jealous of, but only because of just how much he admired them. He'd write a book all about how this hero conquered the Witherstorm, brought people together, went on crazy portal hopping adventures, and eventually when he's done he'd be all excited to publish it, only to realize that Lucas had written the exact same book first. And thus poor Aiden would be forced to repeat his cycle of jealousy all over again. So yeah, I guess we could have had nice Aiden, just not forever. Petra without her hat. Petra wasn't always gonna have a bandana. There's actually some earlier models that didn't make it into the game where she didn't have a bandana. Seeing this model kinda reminds me of when somebody who always wears glasses finally takes them off and they just look weird. Minecraft Story Mode out of context. If you want to see Minecraft Story Mode out of context, honestly just go to my shorts. There's quite a lot of clips out of context there. Emily in Season 2. Emily is 2x4 and a massive whore, and she's part of the Hunger Games world in episode 8 of season 2. She used to be part of the Gladiators, which are basically people who work for Hadrian as guards, errand boys, cafeteria lady, etc. But she got fired, and now she's a competitor in the Hunger Games. She's an absolutely terrible person and even sacrificed her own teammate to try and make Jesse lose because she made a deal with Hadrian to rig the outcome of the games. In case you forgot, nobody was supposed to be able to win the games, and Jesse was actually doing quite well, so Hadrian wanted to make sure he lost by having Emily apparently throw Nelly at him, hoping that you would fall into lava and die. Other things we know about her is that she comes from a farmer world, and depending on what you say to her, she will either return there, or she will help Otto fix the Hunger Games world, or come back with Jesse and become a member of the New Order of the Stones. But obviously, due to budget constraints, No matter what you choose, you will never see her again, even if she becomes a member of the Order of the Stone. The Underneath is based on 2b2. 2b2 is a Minecraft server with complete anarchy. There's no admins, no mods. You can literally just go around killing people, blowing people's buildings up. They literally have 0 rules. There's no evidence that the Underneath was based off of 2b2t, but it's an interesting theory. For as far as I'm aware, 2b2t has about as much in common with the Underneath as it does with Boomtown. That's saying that it's basically a complete chaos. Season 2 on Netflix. Season 2 never got released on Netflix. In fact, they don't even have the last 3 episodes. Only the first 5 episodes of Minecraft Story Mode got released on Netflix. Heckmouth Origins. The Heckmouth is the hole in episode 1 of season 2 that almost swallows Jesse when he tries to take the gauntlet. Eric Sturpey talked about the origins on his Tumblr. We got an executive note on the episode 1 script demanding some sort of stakes and threat to Beacon Town, and extra reason for Jesse to need to go to the Sea Temple. Honestly, none of us really understood it, so we kind of swept it back under the rug when the admin stuff started up. I think one version of the episode 2 script had a couple lines about it, but we cut it because it got in the way of the behemoth fight. Anonymous asked this: was calling the Heckmouth a joke against the new rule about no cursing in the 2nd season? Eric's answer: maybe a tiny bit. Beacon Town free roam. There's a couple sections in Minecraft Story Mode where you get to free roam through the beautiful town called Bacon Town. You can walk through Beacon Town in episode 1 of season 1 and episode 1 and 5 of season 2. Scrapped musical episode. There was actually a scrapped idea to do a musical episode, and this is what Eric had to say about it. I think we started with pitches for like 25 dimensions and whittled it down to the 4 that we made. Number 1 that I wish we could have done was a musical world with pirates where different ships would fight each other on raids via musical numbers. Each ship and captain with their own style and genre, but it was way too complicated. Personally, I would have loved that because I was honestly sad when Soren didn't even get to finish his song. 30-minute episode. Since Minecraft Story Mode got discontinued, there's a lot of ideas that they had that they never got to do, and one of them was 30-minute episodes. This is what Eric's tribe had to say about them. My intent was to start creating a bad guy lineup like something out of an old Saturday morning cartoon. Bad guys that were always defeated but never quite died, that could keep popping up in the future. So if I'd ever gotten to do my dreams of lots of shorter episodes, I would have totally brought back characters like Cassie Rose, Spamma, and Aiden, etc. Minecraft Story Mode animator killed in a motorcycle crash. I actually have pretty good news, but I also have pretty bad news. I'm pretty sure this is a mistake and no actual Minecraft animators died, but somebody else did. So I found an obituary of somebody who died in 2012 in a motorcycle crash that had the exact same name as one of the people on the animating team. I think that's why there's some confusion that one of the animators had died, but he's actually still working as an animator to this day, so that guy's clearly alive. So I'm pretty sure these two people simply got mixed up because they have the same name.